How do they, guys? Welcome back to Edgar TV. Another major tournament is on the horizon, and this one is going to shake up the darting rankings. I know I say that quite a bit, but this one is going to do so. Now, the reason being, the Grand Slam of Darts works on a 1-year criteria. You need to make a major final, you need to win a Euro Tour, or you need to win the qualifier. For that, we're always going to have casualties, and this year seems more so than ever in regards to casualties that we are picking up. We've even lost people in regards to the runner-up, semi-finalists, quarter-finalists. It's so hard to put this list together, and in order to also put through the right amount of graphics that are needed to show you all the different possibilities and permutations, because there are that many people that are not in it, and there's going to be loads more that are in it. So loads of people are going to be gaining ranking money. That video is coming soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button now down below. Do want to one day reach 100,000 subscribers, so that YouTube play button, so go hit that. You'll get that video and you'll help me out all towards my goal. Not only that, but we look at the amount of people that are losing ranking money. Wow, this is an extensive list, so much so that I've had to condense some of it down. But just to give you an idea in terms of how much it is blown apart, take a look at this. This is the quarterfinals from 2 years ago, the quarterfinalists. As you can see, we've lost 2 players in the semis, and 5 of the players that reached the quarterfinals not in it. Only 3 players that reached the quarterfinals or beyond in this tournament are even in this year's event, so that's why it's going to be blown apart. Let's start at the very top. Nathan Aspinall is going to lose £70,000 worth of ranking money. He can't defend it because he went out in the qualifier to Cameron Menzies. So 70 grand comes off of Nathan Aspinall, so he's going to drop down. Currently the world number 7, roughly will end up around about the world number 13 come the end of the Grand Slam. We'll be safe though in regards to the top 16. Raymond van Barneveld last year was a semi-final, or 2 years ago, sorry, was a semi-finalist, won his group, then beat Whitlock, Price, before losing out to the eventual winner Michael Smith. It really was a resurgence of form for Raymond van Barneveld, but £50,000 coming off him makes some question marks in regards to his participation in the top 32. Now that's very interesting, because at the moment it'll be estimated to be about £7,000 ahead of the top 32, because he got a group bonus as well for winning his group. Now, the top 32 cut-off means he will be a second round player at the Ali Pali, and he'll be guaranteed £15,000. If he comes outside the top 32, it means he will no longer be guaranteed that. He'll have to play a first round game against an international qualifier, then have to play a seeded player in the second round. So much more tricky route. I'm sure he'll want to hang on to that top 32 position, but is in danger. Gerwyn Price, he's a bit of danger, isn't he? He's sliding down the rankings. How into it is it at the moment? That's the big question going around. Currently the world number 8, likely to drop 1 place in this event after losing £25,000 off his ranking, so going down 1. But I estimate he's going to go even further. I think he's going to end either 11 or 10 in regards to the world rankings come the end of the Grand Slam. 2 more players went out at this stage, Alan Suter and Joe Cullen. Alan Suter goes down from 42 to about 49 in the rankings. This was his second biggest payday on the rankings, but that Pro Tour win this year means there's no tour card danger for Alan Suter. He'll be back at the back end of the year, the World Championships and the Players' Championship finals. Joe Cullen, though, is the concern. He's down 2 places to number 19, and he's going to drop a further 3 places, it feels, to 22. £50,000 to defend at the back end of the year. There's a chance here that Joe Cullen could go down to about number 26 or so in the world, meaning he's more likely to go out the 32 than back into the 16. And we're only just getting started. Think about what else is still to come. There's still players that went out in the last 16. There's players that went out in the group stages. There's players that went out in the group stages that are non-effective because they've not got their card. So, or they've lost their card and got it back. You know, there's different scenarios that can happen here. The ranking money only goes for 1 year. So, for example, the money that Fallon Sherrick won a couple of years ago doesn't count this year because she's not on that same card. It only counts if you're on the same tour card. This is where it gets tricky. Let's say Bo Greaves this year goes and earns £30,000. At the end of the year, that £30,000 goes. The only way she keeps the money is if she stays inside the top 64 and then accepts the tour card for the following year. So yeah, it gets really, really messy in regards to that. So I'm just going to try and keep picking out the key stories. And there's a couple more here. So These are your last 16 players who go out the group: Johnny Clayton, Dirk van Dijvenbode and Simon Whitlock. Simon Whitlock, the key story here. 12,000 and a quarter coming off his rankings, puts him in a spot of bother. He's down at the moment in the world number 53 position. This money coming off will see him move down to number 58. Remember, he is not in the Players' Championship finals or the World Championship finals as things stand. £17,000 to defend in those events means he is only safe by £4,000 in regards to his tour card. That's with players below him, like Connor Scott, Wesley Plazier, who are close to overtaking, and many others who could overtake him in that top 64 position, who are in the big events at the back end of the year. Simon Whitlock, £4,000 safe of a tour card at the moment. If he doesn't make the Worlds via the PDPA qualifier, I think Whitlock will lose his card. Dirk van Dijvenbode moves a little bit closer to the top 32 cut-off, but he's more than safe. He's going to drop a couple of places, probably 24 down to 26, but more than safe there. And for Johnny Clayton, no problems. World number 5 will probably drop a place, just because he's not in the event and people around him got a chance to earn, but he's going to be safe within that sort of top 8 position. But the big story there is Whitlock. I pointed this out a few months back, and I was called mad for suggesting Simon Whitlock may lose his card from the position he was in. However, it's looking ever so more likely now. He's in big trouble. He really needs that PDPA qualifier. And breathe. That's the knockout stages done. There's still the groups to go. You can imagine what this video is going to be like in reverse when we look at the players moving up the rankings. This event is going to blow the rankings wide open. Now, I did mention there a couple of players that's not effective. This is this list. Nathan Rafferty twice, because he's twice as good as he was then. Trying to style it out. Rafferty had a tour card back then, now has a tour card, but it's a different tour card. So the money he won 2 years ago is not coming off his rankings, it's not counting. Same thing for people like Leonard Gates. The money he won 2 years ago is no longer on his rankings because he didn't stay within that top 64 of the system. If someone, for example, like we said, has a big run, gets in the top 64, they will be able to keep that prize money for 2 years consecutively. When we look at players, though, who have lost ranking money, £8,000 for finishing third in the group. That was Scott Williams, Damon Heta and Luke Woodhouse, none of which are really going to be too damaged by a loss of £8,000, and nor will Ryan Searle be too damaged by a loss of £5,000. If anything, they're probably going to enjoy a little bit of time off, get themselves ready for Minehead, get themselves ready for the World Championships. Damon Heta, though, disappointment here. Someone I said has got a realistic chance of making the top 4 with some good runs in TV events. Lost early in the European Championships and now will not play in the Grand Slam of Darts. So that is a couple of real big blows there for him. Scott Williams reached the semi-final of the World Championship last year, but hasn't really been able to breach that top 32 despite that big run there. So he could find himself in the spot of bother at the end of next year, but he's got another year yet in order to try and put that right. Luke Woodhouse as well, looking to try and get into the world's top 32, but a little bit of a dent there into his hopes, but got a lot coming up at the back end of the year that's going to allow him to sustain that sort of position, and that because there's going to be a lot of movement in that because there's not that much in regards to the ranking money between the places. That's obviously just the people that are guaranteed to be moving in the rankings. Let's not dismiss people like Michael Smith, the defending champion of the prize money. 2 years ago won this £120,000. That's coming off his rankings. Michael Smith's also defending the World Championships. He needs to find some form. Now, he's been playing well on the Pro Tour recently, but he needs to translate that now to these big 3 TV majors, because Michael Smith is in a genuine chance of dropping out of the world's top 16 if he doesn't pick up that much at the back end of this year. So another one to keep an eye on there. Lots of stories all over the place here. Stories in regards to tour cards, top 32, top 16. At the end of the Grand Slam, we're going to do a video, as always, on the ranking changes following the event, and I can guarantee you this ranking is going to be blown wide apart due to this Grand Slam. Later on in the week, I will be doing one in regards to the players moving up. Make sure you're around for that. There's going to be some original content dropping this week as well. Some really good stuff and some insightful stuff, which I always like to do this time of year. Give you some insights from a player's point of view, a player's perspective into different scenarios. So make sure you subscribe for that. And also, we've got the draw for the WWF World Championship. So if you're watching it after that, then let's hope I've pulled something good. Catch you soon, guys, for some more Edgar TV.